worked for you in the past, what you should do differently, the concepts that you need to contemplate on, things like this. The rain sounds beautiful. Yeah, sometimes it's good to rain, you know, and in the spring, rain is so important to our earth. Hi guys, we're gonna give everybody about a minute to join and then we'll get going. I had so many questions in the last week that I said to myself, I gotta do another live. My lives are usually just Mondays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then they're posted on YouTube. This one will also be posted on YouTube if you can't stay for the whole thing. But thanks for joining meanwhile, and thanks for being here. If you are part of my group or not, if you're not, you're welcome to stay. Our group is called Circle Infinity on Facebook. There's a membership fee associated with it. We're doing the 60-day challenge in my bio. We have extreme results, really, really good results. Right now, what we're working on is a manifestation of $100,000 for our group, like a total goal. And we're already around 150. And I only put this manifestation group goal on April 1st. So if you're part of the group and you're part of this manifestation goal, there are specific steps associated with it, and there are rituals that we're doing with dream time, with different kind of things. The way we think about things, we do things at the same time. And the goal was $100,000 from unexpected sources. So this can't be your regular revenue stream, your sales, your job, your bonus, your allowance. It can be from any of those sources. It has to be unexpected money. And the group has about 200 members. We're at about 150,000 of unexpected money so far since April 1st. So I'm very proud of that. I'm very happy about how I see things unfolding. We had a lot of small ones too. We have a lot of $50 win, $100 wins, and everybody wants to contribute. When you want to contribute to a goal of a group, I think your manifestations will go a lot faster. But without, you don't have as much resistance, right? Because all of a sudden you're not just there to manifest, $10,000. You're there to contribute and inspire to a group goal. You obviously get to keep the money. You don't have to give anything to anybody. It's just about contributing. I want to do it. I want to show the others that I can do it, that it can be done. I want to inspire. That's the idea behind this. And again, we combine our energies. We have several practices. We have new moon practices. We had an eclipse practice. We have dream time together every Wednesday night. We just had one last night. Very relevant dreams and inputs come up from this. And, I'm just excited that my group went way over the 100,000 already. And we all just will contribute to as much as possible. I gave until the end of April, so we will see where we get to at the end of April. I don't think I have a moderator for tonight, but I will remove anybody that's not participated positively in the discussion, so you have to bear with me. I do know about the 369 law. I do the 369 tapping at the end of every live. Hi Valerie. Hi guys. I see a few people from my group. If you're not from my group, you're welcome to stay, of course. Okay, so that's with the 100,000. I am very, very excited that we already surpassed our goal. So I just wanted to say that this is sort of what's happening. So tonight, I want to talk about all the questions that came in that I just didn't think, like, I can wait until Monday's live, because then I'll have a new set of questions and we go over time. Let's see, what's the question here? Can we start with the challenge as soon as we ended it, or do we need to pause a little bit? You need to pause a little bit. You need to pause for at least 7 days and let those seeds take place. During the 7 days that you pause, you got to monitor yourself for your reactions to 3D. And you have to see if you have the same reactions to 3D as you did before you started the challenge, then you haven't worked on yourself enough. That would be my feedback. You should see a difference between the you that when you started to you when you completed the 60 days before you complete again. And if you don't see a change, ask yourself why you haven't. go back into our practices with dreams, ask about the limiting beliefs. I came up with a product just last weekend that's called 100 question questionnaire. A few people have started to do it and they love it. But it's 100 questions, 20 in relationships, 20 in money, 20 in career, 20 in life, etc. All of the topics that we have in the 60-day challenge. And it's really to unpack your limiting beliefs. It's available for a nominal fee on my site there. I really believe this questionnaire is equal to like 1 hour's worth of coaching if you were to book a coaching with any experienced life coach. But of course you would have to interpret your own results, but it's stuff that you have to do and think about it. Think about your answers. Think about, like, be super honest with yourself about that. So I want to, let's see. Oh, Jay, I have 5K to add. I'll comment on the Facebook post. I can't stop the screens from winning, and obviously I wouldn't want to. But look at that. So it's unexpected, Jay. Yeah, it's unexpected $5,000. I'm just like, my heart just like, you know. I'm like, I gave them a challenge of 100 grand and everyone's contributing 5 grand, 3 grand, you know, a little bit. Some people 60 grand. I got a testimonial today that I put it in the group, but I want to read it out because there was a question in it. She's saying, I'm not posting this on the group for privacy, but my CPA sent me a message yesterday asking me if I saw my refund on my taxes that I will be getting for last year. I was nicely surprised to hear about a tax refund. I have a couple of businesses and I have dependents, so I have tax credits, other deductions. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my lives. And only a CPA can figure it out. I never really know what the deal is and the taxes until it's time to file. I don't care too much about it. I just care about making my customers happy. Mona, when I looked at the amount being refunded, I saw it was a little bit over $65,000. You read that right? I don't know what's happening. Yes, I am completely floored and happy, but I need one little advice on how to let go of resistance. And is this too good to be true? I mean, how do I talk to myself? Clearly, I've been doing great, but you are more competent and skilled at this. Maybe you can give me a tip. So, you know, she's manifested herself as part of this challenge, $65,000 in tax refund. And I left a comment there. I said, this is exactly what happened to me. Last year, I also set to myself to manifest some unexpected money. I didn't think about anything. And I get a letter from the government saying, with a check, saying they refunded me $16,000 for a random audit they did of my business taxes for 2020. I didn't request that audit. My accountant didn't request it. It was just very, very random. And like a week later, I get another $17,000 from the provincial government. I live in Canada, so we have 2 taxation structures for businesses. So yeah, it's completely money I wasn't counting on, and the universe has ways in which to bring to you what you want without you worrying about the how. In fact, the moment you think about the how, it's not coming, because when you think about the how, remember, your free will overrides the universe. So when you think about the how, you close all the other doors, right? You close all the other doors. And the only thing I would say when you manifest, I always say, with harm to none and for the good of all, this is my request, this is my intention, right? Because you don't want to get a bunch of money via an accident, knock on wood, happening to somebody you love or something like this. So, you know, this testimonial was, you know, a little bit over 65,000. Yeah, I'm excited about it, but even without this amount, you're already over 100,000. So I'm excited. I want to answer her question. She's asking, how do you get over, let me just reread the question. How do you let go of resistance of is this too good to be true? So, you know, that's a question about this upper limit that we discussed. When something happens to us, when we manifest something big, the question of, is this too good to be true, or is this a one-time thing, comes into your mind for 2 major reasons, okay? And these 2 major reasons, Queen, are, 1, your self-worth is not aligned with what you have manifested. And this is very possible. It's not true that, oh, it's only if you raise your self-image, you can manifest a whole bunch of things. You can temporarily maybe raise your self-image, or raise your self-image based on, let's say for us, using the energy of the group that we're in, and you can manifest something big. But the question arises in your mind, can I sustain this? And this tells you right away that your self-image is not where it needs to be to sustain this, right? So, you know, you already think $65,000 is a lot of money. Are you worthy of getting this on a regular basis, or what have you? So your work has to be about your self-image and self-esteem. And the higher up you see yourself as a businesswoman, especially with a businesswoman, is easy, right? Because once you have a business, your income is pretty much unlimited. It's not like a salary or climbing the corporate ladder or waiting for a lottery win. So once you see yourself as, yeah, I pay taxes, I get tax refunds, I trade in business 7 figures or whatever it is you're doing. I always say, be happy to pay $1 million in taxes, because that means you made at least $2 million, right? So it's not, see yourself as, receiving those big checks, writing checks, like if you're in business for the government for $1 million is no problem. That only means you are way, way, way up there on the ladder of success. Do not think $65,000 is a lot of money, or, it doesn't matter if once in a lifetime ago, that was your whole yearly salary. It really doesn't matter. So I just want you guys to think, is my self-image aligned with my manifestation? If it's not aligned with what you have manifested, and you have manifested something big, then the only problem with that is you don't believe you can do it again. And in fact, you've hit the upper limit. You're going to now sabotage that or something else in your life, because your self-image your 3D needs to be in line with the self-image. So the moment you manifest something too good, like let's say the exact man you wanted to come for you and be crazy for you, you will self-sabotage if your self-image is not there. That's the only caveat when you're manifesting and you brought something forth that you're not really worthy of. And it's not that you consciously know you're not worthy of. Maybe you think, yeah, I'm worth $65,000, but you're like not worthy of in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious knows this. So it will be prepared. Like if you had a bigger manifestation and immediately something else falls apart, then that's a self-image problem. So that's one reason why you think it's too good to be true. The other reason you think it's too good to be true is because you think of the world as a pie, and you're taking a piece of pie, and the resources are limited. So can this piece of pie really be for you, right? Whether you meet a wonderful, handsome man who wants to take care of you, and now you just can't believe it because you're thinking there's 5 guys like that in the whole world, and they're all with supermodels. So how could you possibly get that for yourself? Or whether you get, $100,000 and you're like, my God, how can I, now there's less for everybody else. So when you have this belief that everything is limited, that the amount of good men are limited, the amount of money is limited, the amount of even health, like you can't have 90% healthy people. So, you probably have 80% unhealthy people. So you're more likely to be part of the unhealthy. So the moment you start doing the statistics in your mind, you're going to lose. You're going to lose something. So watch yourself for that. Every time you think, is this too good to be true? Ask yourself, is this a self-image problem, or is this a limitation problem? Like, is it limited? I can't believe I got this because there are really not enough men in the world or, money in the world to go around, and I couldn't have gotten such a big piece of the pie. Those are like 2 things, okay, to check when it comes to your upper limits. Let me, I'm going back to those questions that I saved. By the way, guys, every creator with, I want to say 10,000 followers or more would have spam accounts. So I never contact anybody. If you get a message from me on TikTok or even by email, if you didn't initiate the question, or if you didn't come to my account to ask me a question, it's not me. I don't contact anyone. So be very careful for spam accounts. Okay. I want to go to a very interesting question that I got, and this is from our group. So this is mostly for people who've been doing the work in manifestation. Mona, I am listening to Monday's live. I feel like I am doing the work. I also feel like I am almost always doing the work. When do we let go? How do we use the law of detachment while also doing the work? Many spiritual teachers say set your intentions and focus, and yet they also say detach and let go. How do we navigate this seemingly contradiction? I'm mentally exhausted. Can you do a video on this? Thank you very much for everything that you do for the group. Okay, so today I've done a video on how, you hear that this work that you do. So let me just roll this back a little bit. you can do your life from 3D. The majority of people do. Or you can do it from 5D, from creating, I'm using popular terms, right? From creating from the formless substance. And somehow you get to believe this idea that doing it from 5D or just manifesting it is not going to be work. But all you're doing is you're taking all this energy that you're going to put in 3D in realizing your goals and taking it and putting it into holding a vision and holding an intention and imposing your will into the formless substance. This is what's happening. Instead of focusing your energy here in 3D, you're focusing your energy in 5D. But it's pretty much the same amount of work, guys. You know, I don't want you to have this belief that all it takes is a month of writing out, I am a millionaire, 369 times a day, and you're going to be a millionaire. And then you can put this aside and forget about it. That's not how creation from 3D works at all. Like, at all. What you have to do is learn a system in which understand the world differently, in which you don't focus on the scene. You see the scene as a consequence of all the thoughts and intentions of yours and the collective consciousness that have materialized. And you see that everything here is a 3D printout of the contents of your mind and the contents of the collective mind. So in order to change this 3D, what you do is you got to change 5D, not one time, but to sustain a change in 5D in which you think completely differently of it, to hold your awareness into, hey, I'm not here. I'm not actually, why am I doing this thing that I'm doing right now? What is the purpose of me having this feeling, thinking this thought? Is it mine or is it the collective consciousness? Are they trying to keep me down? Why am I angry? Why am I misinterpreting the way a stranger treated me, which doesn't matter? Am I in 5D right now? And so this is constant work and constant reminder of, oh, I want to pop back in here. Where's my focus? Where's my intention? Why was I deterred from holding my intention up here? Who deterred me? What power do they have over me? Who is it? Is it my boyfriend? Is it my mother? Is it the person who cut me off in traffic? Who has the power over me to take me away from my focus and intention? And while you're doing this work, you're going to fall many times. Many times, okay? When you're saying, I'm mentally exhausted from doing the work, okay. But what are you doing when you're not doing the work? What work other than, let's say, working with our group, the 60-day challenge, reading your books, meditating, what other work do you feel like you're doing? Because you can't do this for 15, 20, 30 minutes, even 2 hours, and then go in 3D and do something completely like the same way you were doing it. In fact, a good measurement, like somebody asked me, should I take a break in between? I just finished the 60-day challenge, which is in my bio. Should I take a break or start it again? And I said, during this break, you have to assess if you are different. If you are not different, the person that you were when you started the challenge has to be different. If you are not different, you got to understand why you're not different. And if you are not different, you got to understand that a new life is only possible for a person who is different. I want to put here just a little bit of a diagram because I think people work well with diagrams. And just give me a second to pull this out. And what you got to understand when they talk about this quantum jumping and everything is that there's this parallel lifelines, right? So, you know, they look like this. And you are here, okay? You, me, your job, your SP, your finances, whatever, it's here, okay? When they talk about quantum jumping, and I really believe in this model of reality where every version, potential version of our life story, but it's not infinite, right? It's not every single combination. It's only what is possible based on the life choices that you had at every single moment in time. So they exist, they are written, okay? But the version of you that you are vibrationally right now, you with your current reactions, with your current thoughts, with your current habits, can only inhabit here. You can only inhabit here. You cannot jump you from here to here where SP loves you, okay? So let's say here SP is better by, I guess my pen doesn't work anymore. So you're jumping here and your SP is a little better. Or you're jumping here and you're married to your SP. Well, the you here, You got to understand, if there's a different him here and there's a different job situation here, and your customers react differently to you and they give you more, or they, there's more customers, then the you that operates on this other lifeline is not the same you that operates here. Because if it was, then your SP would treat you differently now. Do you understand that? So you, with your current vibration, can only have the life that you're having today. The whole point of the work that you're doing is for you to change so you can step here where the SP loves you, where there's more job opportunities, where you're not creating anything new. You're not making this happen. You're not making a man love you. You're not making a man obsessed with you. You're not making anything. All creation already exists. But you cannot access this thing. You from today cannot access this lifeline. This is for the you that vibrates with this lifeline. So the work of you from today becomes vibrating differently, seeing what happens. Because when you start to change your vibration, guess what happens? You don't know that you're going to end up on the lifeline where you're married to your SP. How could you possibly know that? How can anybody ever guarantee you that? Or when you have the business you want? How could you possibly know? Only by changing to go to a different lifeline could you then assess this lifeline and be like, am I where I want to be? No. Am I still the same as yesterday? No, I've changed somehow. I react differently. I think differently. Okay, so I must be in between here on yet another lifeline that is not yet exactly what I wanted. So I got to keep going, and I got to keep going, and I got to keep going until I get to the point and the lifeline that I want. Do you understand? This is the work. This is why you're exhausted, because, well, I'm assuming you're doing the work right, because there's a way to do it wrong, right? But assuming you're doing it right, you're not changing your vibration enough to jump to here. Maybe you're just like to a lifeline that's just a little bit better, a little parallel, okay? Here, you're getting some lottery wins, $50, $25, $15, You're getting the SP to bring you flowers once in a while. He's never done that before. But it's not here. It's not here. The lifeline that you want or better, yeah. But the you from today needs to be assessed on a daily basis. Okay, if not on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Have I been better this week than I was the week before? Have I really been better? How have I been better? How have I reacted differently to 3D such that I feel better? I feel better about myself. I feel better about the outcome. How have I been more accepting? How have I been more loving? How have I contributed more? And what difference did these things do in my life? Right? Same reactions, same result. Can't do the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, guys. Yeah? You can't do that. That's the definition of insanity. Now, where were we? I just want to stop for a bit and see if there's any comments on this, because this is a huge concept. Let's see. If I miss a day, do I have to pause for 7 days as well before restarting? I don't think you should miss a day. If you miss a day, you should ask yourself why you missed the day. The practice that I created is less than 15 minutes a day to set up your mind. Mona, I'm planning on creating content. How do I deal with criticism from close people? What you got to understand is that everyone around you does not want you to change. Okay? And if you understand that, you will stop looking for their support. The people in your life right now, unless they specifically said, Logan, I want you to change, they don't want you to change. Okay? Especially if you're a wife, mother, daughter, you do things a certain way. They want you to be status quo. Every energy system wants to retain a status quo. So you're simply, like in 3D, in your mindset, you're simply going to have to understand that a good self-image includes putting yourself first. You gotta put yourself first and say, this is my life. Okay, irrespective of kids, husband, this is my life. And I'm loyal and committed to my family. I'm committed to whatever. But what does Logan want to do? What does Mona want to do? Okay, I want to create content. So I'm just going to go ahead. I never even thought of asking anyone for their input. when I created content. And to tell you the truth, my closest friends didn't even follow me. Like, they knew I was online, but you know, they weren't even interested in this type of topic. They're not people who are online. Who cares, right? I didn't take it personally. I'm doing what I'm doing, right? I'm just like full speed ahead. If you're doing it, expecting accolades, expecting people to be like, Logan's now creating content. Wow, I'm so happy for her. No, it's like, Logan didn't cook me dinner tonight. You know, obviously that's going to be their reaction. You just got to keep going. You just got to keep, you don't define yourself through the prism of how other people see you. You understand? I can think of examples from my life for every manifestor type. How do I proceed from here? I think if you've done this analysis, do the questionnaire in my bio to see where your limiting beliefs are. Rather than focusing on a technique, I would focus on what you manifested before and what limiting beliefs you've overcome in the past. But other than that, this question is too specific to you for me to answer. You got it. Let's see. The lifetime that I want or better. I'm so terrified that I'm going to manifest my bad thoughts. Please help. Understand that your positive thoughts are 3 times stronger than at least 3 times stronger, maybe 10 times stronger than your negative thoughts. Like, this world is so negative, and it's held together in place by the good thoughts of how many people? How many gurus and true religious people and people who are really pouring energy through their practices, whatever it is they believe in, back into the world. How many avatars are in this world, right? That are pouring and sustaining the world. So this is how you know that the light is so much stronger than the dark. You don't have to have equal amounts. The light, actually, when you turn on a light, it's no longer dark. No matter that the whole room was dark, when you light a candle, that's how you have to see your positive thought inside a dark mind. So now you lit a candle and you see that darkness dissolve. Another very, very strong practice for negative thoughts is the power of forgiveness. That's why in every religion, they tell you to forgive. You really have to forgive everybody who has wronged you. Not to their face, in your heart. Just to understand that if you don't do this step, if you keep having resentment, hatred, all of these things are extremely powerful thoughts. But when you wish well on your enemies, and I know this is so difficult, like, I'm not preaching here, okay? It's so difficult. Really, what you're doing is you're lighting that candle. And that's all it takes. It takes one thought of forgiveness. Like, I forgive you and I wish you well. I never want to see you again. I hope I never bump into you, but I forgive you and I wish you well. I'm taking this as a sign that my SP is coming soon. I love that. I'm a great coach. Thank you so much. Let's see. Persist, persist, persist. Yeah, but persist in holding the vision. You will know if your persistence, it's kind of like, if you persist, if you keep saying I'm a millionaire, but every time you spend money, or every time you get a check, all you can think of is how it's not enough. Every time you swipe your credit card, you have a feeling in the pit of your stomach that's bad. You can persist all you want because it's not coming. Guys, it's not coming until you shift, until you're able to react differently. And when I say react differently, it's not just speaking, it's not just behavior, it's react differently from inside. The whole practice that you're doing in manifestation, the reason it takes so long is because it takes so long to change our reaction to things. We've reacted to things the same way for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, okay? And now you expect, oh, I'm gonna write out, I am a millionaire, he loves me 100 times, and that's what's going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's no way. I'm starting small. I started with taking out all toxic products of what I use. Okay. I'd love to know if you know your human design and if you happen to be a projector. You know, I have to look this up. I know I've done this a while ago, but I want to say I looked into this maybe like 10 years ago. But I'm going to write it out with a pen that doesn't work. I don't even think I have another pen. I hope I'm going to remember this. I want to look up my human design. Yeah, I just, you know, guys, I'm not into all these definitions really, because I'm telling you what I've noticed in my life, that you can really be who you want to be. You can be who you want to be if you listen to your intuition, and if you create a safe space around you that you can actually do what you're good at every day, right? Moving from, let's say, what you're not good at to what you're average good at to what you're good at to what you're really, really good at. If you have the support system that you can stay here in the zone, you won't be interested in any of these things. You'll just know. You don't need the human design to tell you're a projector or whatever you are. You will just do what you love, and you will notice the difference in your results and the results you effectuate in the people around you. Is there truth to religion, or was it made only for control? I believe in the creator. And I believe that the human mind needs a structure via which to understand the system of creation. And then when you're asking, was it made for control? It's not necessarily that it's truth or it's made for control. Control was always necessary for the masses of people, right? Because our nature, right, as humans is not good. It's animalistic. It's survival mode. What do animals do when they want to mate? They just mate. What do animals do when they want to eat? They just kill other animals. Or when they want something that somebody else's have, they just go and take it, right? We don't have a design that's very far removed from this in the absence of being taught. And think about people from 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, right? Think that there was nothing to train them. And when a man wanted to mate, he could just go ahead. In fact, many of them did that, right? And so a system of control was always necessary for the human. It's not necessarily that it's a bad thing that you have a system of control, right? It's just that in a system of control, the people who control the system could manipulate things to their benefit, and that benefit is not necessarily pure. But this doesn't invalidate God, and it doesn't invalidate a creator. And it's not that far-fetched to think that a creator of this game of life would have put forward rules via which you can actually win this game and have a positive experience of this game. Does that make sense? Let's see. Wow, I missed quite a bit of things. Forgiveness. Can you tell us where we can learn more about body being in the mind? Go through my body list. But I haven't talked about it in a bit, so I don't remember when I last talked about it. Not lack mentality. A good practice is mindfulness. This is what Buddha taught. It's taking me years, but I'm finally able to relax in this challenge. Really helped me to get there, and I'm still learning. The challenge is available in my bio if anybody wants to try it. Have you tried revisioning? Can you talk about it? I have tried revisioning. I'm not really sure I still would be my focus in my practice. I've tried it way in the past. It works to some extent of convincing your mind, but the problem is it keeps your mind in the past. So I'm not going to spend too much time to think about it. You know, revision is good for remembering your childhood differently. That's what I would say. It would be very beneficial for not remembering that, you know, your SP called you when he didn't, or he didn't break up with you when he did. I would think if you can revise your childhood to be like, my parents always loved me. I was always accepted, never rejected, never abandoned, never betrayed. You know, I always felt love. And if you can revise that story in your mind, it's going to help a lot. Don't use it for trivial things like, oh, I hurt my toe and, you know, I remember my toe not being hurt. Because with every one of these practices, what happens is you exert a large amount of energy into revising, into doing, right? And the past is it requires a lot more energy to revise than the future, because the future is in a state of potentiality. So that just requires an impulse to access the potentiality you want, while the past, to revise events that have happened in your mind, it takes a lot of energy. So I wouldn't focus on that. But what I found relaxing is actually mutual. Okay. Is it selfish to manifest certain physical features on an SP? I don't know. It doesn't seem like a pertinent question. All right, let me get to more questions. Guys, what you have to remember is desire alone is not enough to bring anything. You have to know how to communicate with the formless substance, okay? Desire is not enough. It's not the same as manifestation. Okay. I have been watching your recorded lives on YouTube and came across the one where you spoke about receiving downloads from the source and collective consciousness during your meditations. I was wondering if you could talk about your meditation practices and tips, as I cannot seem to stop my mind enough to meditate. I am on day 9 of the challenge and experiencing severe ups and downs. After the new moon ritual on day 7, I felt high, only to wake up exhausted and feeling terrible on day 8, but I persist. So number one, this challenge that we have is like 60 days. And through the 60 days, especially your first time around, it's going to be quite a bit of ups and downs, because what you're trying to do with this challenge and with our group energy, you're trying to destroy and deconstruct your existing persona and your existing ego to make the you, again, remember the parallel lifelines, the you that fits a different lifeline. That's the only reason you would be doing this work. If you absolutely love every aspect of your life, you should not bother, because you're already where you need to be. But everybody who's doing this work, like, who has a life that's perfect in every area? Probably nobody. Everybody wants something else, right? And it's normal. It's the natural natural quality of life is to seek out to live more. So, she's asking, what do I do for meditation? First of all, I do meditate every day. And the days where I can't do a 1-hour meditation, I have like a 10 or 15 minute meditation. Some of the meditations that I do are in my own voice and in my own recording that I've recorded. On my YouTube channel, the meditation that I do that I have is why is everything always working out for me meditation. I don't know what it's called. Maybe somebody can tell me. It's like ask-firmations. I think it's called 50 ask-firmations or something like that. And ask-firmations are like affirmations, but they're with question mark. Why does everything always work out for me? Why do I look so good? Why do I always get unexpected money, etc.? So your mind gets trained. You have to circulate in your meditation practice between relaxation meditations, which you absolutely need, between meditations to imprint your subconscious mind, between meditations that put you in a different, in sort of like, I do a Joe Dispenza meditation. I do 2 of his regularly, Changing Boxes and The Alchemist. Those are available for purchase on his website. And those, they put you in a sort of like, you release to someone's authority, and they take you through this dream world where you really change, and it's based on binaural beats, and it's based on his voice, and it's more like hypnotic. And then I also do sound meditation where I listen to pure sounds, 528 hertz, 432 hertz. So I do some of that as well. But you have to have a practice via which, when you feel, it doesn't need to be like at 8 a.m. I'm meditating, at 8 p.m. I'm meditating. You're not going to be able to sustain a practice like this, because life happens. It's just that you got to understand, when you put yourself first, you can always find 10-20 minutes for yourself first, right? Like, everybody in your household will need to understand that they're going to have dinner 20 minutes later than they normally do, because when you come home from work, you're going to need to lie down and just be in that state of mind where you forget about the outside world for a while. If you're not able to have a social structure in which you put yourself first, if your relaxation right now is like, let me scroll through TikTok and Facebook, see what people are doing and saying, and all you're getting is this 1-minute videos that don't add anything to your life, then that's a choice you are making. And that's your ego trying to survive, trying to sustain itself, trying to be in the energy system of your ego doesn't want to change. It doesn't need to change. It's not safe for it to change, because it doesn't know if it's going to be destroyed in this change. You understand? So it's this idea that unless you can put yourself first in life, you generally won't be successful at manifesting. Because the whole idea of doing it from 5D is your consciousness has to be the dominating consciousness, and your awareness has to just penetrate all aspects of what is going on around you at all times. And you have to deconstruct your ego by asking why, by being in awareness and asking, why is this happening right now? What is it in my thinking that has led me to this point? Why is it, okay, this person is yelling at me right now? What is it? How did I develop this relationship such that I am now in a place where somebody can yell at me on a daily basis or even on a weekly basis? Why is it I am not that person anymore? So me, I'm just going to observe this fight right now. I'm going to observe it and be like, how did I get here? That's not where I want to be. It's not my ideal relationship. It's not, why is this boss so mean to me? It's not reflective of my professional image, the person I want to be. How is it that I can get out? So you're constantly prompting. You're like a third person to your own life, like an observer of a movie. And you're constantly prompting, like, why are things happening the way they happen? Okay. And this is a meditation practice that's throughout the day as much as possible. And you'll see at first, it's like you'll do it one time and then you forget about it for 6 hours. And then you're like, I was practicing being in awareness. I got to be there again. And then you will grow in this. So I'm saying this is not work you do for a month, you put it aside and, then all of your dreams come true and you're exactly the same. Yeah, you get ready to get ready. Exactly. I love that. Let's see. Can you share your favorite YouTube meditation and beat channel? Go to my website. You probably already been because I see you have the group symbol, and the ask affirmations are on my own YouTube channel. On YouTube, I actually have an app that's called, it used to be called Synctuition. Now it's called Mind Spa. And, I don't really talk about it because it's a paid service. I pay for it. It has a binaural, like 3D sounds. And I find that for me, that is very, very relaxing. And sorry, it's just like, I'm trying to show you what it is. It's very relaxing and it puts you into that mind relaxation where you pop into the formless substance. So that's another thing I do. And then I do a lot of Joe Dispenza type hypnotic type meditations. So I don't know if I could recommend a specific channel. This is the Mind Spa app. Why is it not opening? Anyway, it looks like this. So that's what I use. But these are paid, like the meditation from Joe Dispenza. You have to pay for them. I find the ones on YouTube of his, they cut short, right? I can't get in there and then some other video pops up or, some commercial, but I can't have that when I'm meditating. It's just such an important practice. Let's see what other questions we have here, because I have some more questions I want to take up. 100 ask affirmations. Okay, I'm glad you listen to them every day. Even I don't listen to them every day, but they really change your mind. They make your mind think, oh yeah, how come things are working for me? And the idea is your subconscious mind learns to look for signs in 3D that they are working, right? Because it can't accept a lie. The Joe Dispenza ones, the ones I do, The Alchemist and Changing Boxes, those are approximately 1 hour meditations. I had to move out of a job situation by working in 3D. It wasn't happening and I wanted to quick. Is there a follow-up to this? Too quick. I don't see the follow-up to this. Oh, a position for a good job open, but I have a couple of things on my record. How do I manifest it? This is too specific for me to answer it. I'm sorry. How do you know if you should transmute a feeling or sit with it? That's a challenge for me. What do you mean? What do you mean? You don't know if the feeling is yours, or you don't know if the feeling is beneficial to you, or why? If the feeling doesn't feel good, why would you sit with it? I would give me more background on that. Okay, hang on a second, because I have a couple of more that I want to take up. That came out. We got so many questions. I'll save this for Monday. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my live. This is not an entertainment kind live. Somebody in my group asked this question, and we monitor our dreams in this group. So it's very important that you learn to communicate with your subconscious mind. The whole work is about your subconscious mind anyways, to convince your subconscious mind you have a different image but you gotta ask your subconscious mind what's already in the paradigm, because many things we don't even know. So one way of doing that is through a dream practice. So she's saying, I had a dream I was in a new apartment, gorgeous one. I was paying barely anything for it and it was beautifully furnished. And after being there a few days, I realized I hadn't double checked that windows were locked. I started going around locking windows and any doors that just seemed to go on forever, and none of them had been locked before. I often have dreams about not being able to lock windows and doors. Mona, I remember you said this indicates someone is trying to access my subconscious and that you would address it in a live. Did you talk about it? Okay, so I'm going to talk about it today. I don't remember if I talked about it before. Some of our dreams are obvious, especially the ones that repeat. And in her case, because she often dreams this kind of dreams, is the idea of safety. The idea, is it safe to be seen? Is it safe to have money? Is it safe to be in this gorgeous apartment where the windows and doors never end? There's this openings in her energetic field that she feels she has to lock, or she's exposed to it. Or maybe these are holes that other people have poked intentionally or unintentionally, holes through which her energy is siphoning. So the subconscious may be telling her, hey, all this windows and doors, until you lock them, until you close these holes, you don't have enough energy to focus on whatever it is you're trying to tell me to manifest for you, because you just don't. It's just siphoning out through these things, right? So the subconscious is trying to close all these doors to protect itself, whether from energy drainage or to protect itself from actual influences that may be in her life. And without knowing the circumstances of her background, her childhood, I wouldn't be able to interpret it any further. But the idea is this safety or somebody trying to access. So you have to think, Queen, in your childhood, in your what has been your experience with two things. One, your safety. Two, the safety of being seen. And three, to whom do you give access to on a regular basis? To yourself, throughout, not on a regular basis, maybe today, but in the last 20 years, depending how old you are, right? Since you've been an adult. To whom have you given access? To your time, to your energy, to your thought? Who occupies space in your mind rent-free? Okay, this could be your boss or a coworker who's never thinking about you. You're just thinking about them non-stop. And you can't, negatively. And who has access to your body? Who has touched you? We talked about this many, many times, right? We as women, we process the energy of everybody we interact with, everybody we let touch us. Unfortunately, it's like this. A lot of this energy lingers on. The sexual act is a very powerful creative act. It's never just sex. Very, very few people are able to be left undamaged in their energy system from a sexual interaction that's not where they don't feel 100% safe emotionally, physically, and in their future, in this interaction, returning to them what they want, right? So you have to really think about this. Is there anyone with whom I've had one of these interactions that I still think about, that I still think how he hurt me, that I still think, your system is trying to protect itself against all of this. This is work you have to do with a piece of paper and a pen. If I were you, I would list out everybody in my life, everybody I loved, everybody who's hurt me, everybody I hate, and be honest with myself. Is there any possibility this door is still open in my energy system? Do I still think about this person? Do I harbor resentment? Do I harbor resentment for the person I was when I allowed this person in my life? All of these are energy drainages, okay? So all this work on your past, you can't avoid it, right? In 3D, this is called therapy. But you can do this yourself. You can do this yourself in 5D by analyzing. And I told you, all you have, it's this forgiveness for them and for yourself. But before you can even go there, give them a number between 1 and 5 of how much they still pressure your energy system, right? I have people that, let's say I never touched, that I'm still resentful of in my own life. Okay, I can think of a couple of people now. And, you know, I'm not saying like, oh, I can snap my finger and how nice, I forgave them. And no, I'm still working on those couple of people, you know, like in my head, in my space. I'm still like, it's constant. It's constant, but I'm doing it because I know that if I don't, I'll keep status quo. I can't move to the next step. I can't enjoy life more. I can't move to a different ladder of the evolution of consciousness. You understand? And when things aren't happening in your life the way you want them to, you always have to look at what are you holding on? Because even though the energy we can channel, the source here is infinite, it can give you as much as you ask for, as much as you want. The vehicle through which you can channel it, which is the energetic system around your body, that's limited. It's limited. So if you have pressures on it from the past via these feelings of hurt, resentment, hate, and even love for people who are not in your life, who don't want to be in your life, those are siphoning your energy. Is this clear? Who's gonna do this exercise? List out on a piece of paper. Guys, I tell you it's work. Do the questionnaire in my bio. That you're gonna find some real eye openers there, because the way I phrase those questions, they're really gonna hit hard. I don't know if anybody started on it. Let's see if I missed anything. I'm going to do this. Okay, good. Lemon, Paulina. Good, Tina. Okay, do it. Give them a number, 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Your high school boyfriend still up there. Mine isn't up there. I had a high school boyfriend, but he's not on that list. There's no way. But there's people on that list. It's not necessarily people you slept with. It's just some people. I have somebody who was a close friend who's on that list. Still working on that in my mind. All right. We talked about this. Okay, I think Katie said, this was right before the live, I've seen this comment, on the new video that I put, like, do you have to actually do the work? She says, this is what held me back for so long. I was worried about working on my intention because I was taught it should feel effortless and your desire shouldn't feel like a desire. I am more on the right path now and understand it is work to overcome your mind. But once you do, events start unfolding. You know what the beautiful thing with this group is, and the work that we're doing, is that you see not only your results, but other people's results. People will be like, I can't believe this happened to me, but I let go of this, or I dreamt of this. It was a very specific next step in my life. I took it and it worked. And it's so inspirational, right? It's just so inspirational to see that and to be like, I can do that too. I can do that too. So yeah, Katie, you took a $1,500 course on that. Look, all power to all these creators who put up these expensive courses. You know, do the $20 questionnaire on my website, and it's probably going to have the same results if you have the self-awareness to actually interpret the results. If you don't, it's fine. You can work with somebody who can help you. Okay, so quite a few people are gonna do this little exercise I put out. Let's see if I wanted to talk about something else. I want to check off. There was another question. I'm going to get to it on Monday's live. I don't think I have the time for it right now. I answered a question about the spiritual practices. So guys, don't be discouraged if you're up and down roller coaster, especially on your first time doing the 60-day challenge. Okay, it's absolutely normal for your ego to fall apart, try to pull itself back together, fall apart. Because how are you going to know your limiting beliefs unless you open this Pandora box, right? It's the same thing if you do therapy. You're going to cry. You're going to cry because what's in there, what's repressed in there, it must come out. And it must come to light before it is dissolved. This practice is about shining awareness in a dark place. And it's not about necessarily resolving. Some things you can't resolve. Some people in your life that hurt you maybe passed away. You can't resolve that. You can only dissolve it. You can dissolve it back into the formless substance, back into consciousness, back into understand that all your mistakes, And all the, you know, in religious settings, okay, if you've been in church or, you know, synagogue or in your temple, they tell you, right, God is doing a work in you. You've ever heard that expression, God is doing a work in you? All these mistakes that you're making, all these things that are happening to you, if you see all the limiting beliefs that you developed before the age of, they say, 7 or 8 or 10 years old, okay, all those limiting beliefs, you won't know you have to work on it, and they're there, unless they repeat in your life. So if you've had abandonment, betrayal, rejection, whatever is most pronounced there, because there's a work that has to happen in you, in consciousness, it will present itself at 16 and at 25 and at 32 until, and this pattern of abandonment, let's say it's abandonment, until you resolve it, until you're like, oh, this is happening because since my father left me, I've tried to pretend I don't need him because my mom said we don't need him. But, you know, because it's there, then what happens is I have the same pattern. And once you shine this light on it, it will dissolve. You're like, I understand what is happening. This is fear that my partner is going to do the same. And so this is just something that's there as a pattern of what I learned lesson in childhood. But, you know, now you begin to rationalize with yourself. This is a different person. This is a different scenario. I am not that child, that powerless child. I have power in this relationship, etc. So you start to heal it by rationalizing away, by dissolving it, right? Because you can't resolve it. It's not like you're going to, you know, turn back time and make your father not leave you. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Lemon says rejection at age 10 and 14. Now I can feel the trigger and holding my inner child teen with love. Yeah. So make sure your trigger will not ruin your future relationships, right? What happens, especially with rejection, you get to reject good people first, just so you don't get rejected. This will be the most likely pattern of somebody who's been rejected as a child. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're good. Please remember, the answer is always yes in terms of your assumption of how reality unfolds. This is something you got to contemplate all the time. How am I assuming that this situation is going to unfold? How am I assuming? How am I assuming this date is going to go? The answer is always yes. Always yes. Right? I'm assuming, you know, economy is going to affect me. Yes, it will. I'm assuming I'm not going to find a husband easily. You won't. You know, all men are dogs. You'll meet every one of them, etc. So the answer is always yes. Just assume the best days are ahead. The best days are always ahead. Always ahead. As we grow older, we're becoming better. We're becoming better, and life should be, it should feel fuller, right? Because you've accomplished yourself inside, and everything else, it's just unfolding. You'll always be protected. You'll always be okay. I promise you. If you stay into this energy, you're always going to be okay. This live will be posted on my YouTube channel, which is under the same handle. If you want to watch it later, or if you missed parts of it, it had a very important concept we discussed. And I wish you a very, very nice night. I'll see you Monday at 12 p.m., our regular live. And if there's any more questions between now and then, I'll write them out and we'll talk about it. Let's put our heads together for the 369. I am a winner. We had so many little lottery wins. I've lost count. Okay. No big one yet to announce, but I know it's coming. Put your hands together. One breath. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.